Outsize amateur professional baseball life. The sound of shutters clicking fills the room as the introductory press conference begins. A dozen or so young warriors are clad in vertical striped uniforms. Starting from the players with the highest draft picks, they begin to share their aspirations for the future. Those selected in the upper rounds talk about becoming Rookie of the Year or winning titles. The more modest players set goals like securing a spot on the first-string roster as they answer the reporters' questions. In recent years, this team has seen high expectations because their drafted players often distinguish themselves quickly. Even the team manager sitting with them conveys a sense of great anticipation through the exchanges during the interviews. I am watching this scene blankly, but the turn passes from one person to the next until finally, it is me. As you can guess from the order, I am the man drafted at the very, very end. In other words, the expectations for me are not that high. I am the fourth pick for a developmental contract, after all. My jersey number is a 3-digit one that you do not see very often. Because of my tall stature, I stand out quite a bit, but I have no track record in amateur baseball. The reporters have absolutely no information on me and look a bit troubled. Still, they ask about my future goals for form's sake. That is their job, after all.
For now, I suppose I should start by properly learning the rules of baseball. I have almost never played baseball outside of video games.
Every single reporter wears a face that says, "What is this guy talking about?" But I cannot help it. I really have only played baseball a tiny bit as a hobby. If they have a complaint, I want them to tell that old man who said he would draft me and actually did. Though I am also the one who actually joined the team. Oh well, in the end, they must have thought I was trying to be funny because the reporters and players laughed, so let us call it a win, even though I really do not know the proper rules. A digital bulletin board titled Osaka Orcas Entrance Press Conference updates rapidly with fan comments.
It started! Oh, it looks like a lineup we can expect great things from again this year. There is one guy who is incredibly huge.
Is that the developmental guy? Supposedly he is a pitcher, but no information came out about him at all until today.
He does not look nervous at all.
He is just spacing out. That is good. That is good. A pitcher needs a mental state that remains unshaken by anything. Well, he is developmental, so expectations are low.
Judging by his height, does he feel like a pure raw talent type?
Rather than a developmental player you do not even know will become anything, look at the first-round pick Mishima.
Mishima, huh? That home run at Kashian was amazing. Even with a metal bat, it reached the top tier of the stands.
5 teams competing for a high school fielder is no joke.
And our manager, Mr. Date, is the one who brilliantly pulled the winning ticket.
A 100% win rate on the lottery. I want him to stay manager forever just for the draft. The Orcas have been good at the draft lately. I have high hopes for this one, too.
I want them to be active from their first year and threaten the regulars.
The comments continue to scroll by as the press conference progresses.
Most people just give honor student remarks.
Big talkers have really decreased lately. I want Mishima to declare he will be Home Run King Rookie of the Year and MVP from his first year.
It might be hard to be Home Run King right out of Kashian, but talk is free, and I want to see more ambition.
Well, if you say it, it becomes material to get bashed later.
Social media is scary these days.
Oh, finally! It is that huge developmental player with no info.
For his size, his build is solid too. They say he is a high school grad, so he might be good as raw material.
Huh?
For now, I should start by properly learning the rules of baseball. I have almost never played baseball outside of video games. Is this for real?
No, that has to be a joke, right?
I see. He came to Osaka, so he is trying to start with a gag.
Learning the rules of baseball is hilarious.
An outrageous rookie has joined?
Yep. His Osaka aptitude is not bad.
Maybe he was trying his best to liven up the place?
Since similar aspirations were continuing, this is interesting in its own way.
All right, I'm going to follow and cheer for him from now on.
Wait, what was his name again?
It is Sayama. Kazuma Sayama.
Sayama, right. Work hard so I can brag about being an early fan.
Chapter 1. Understanding. Episode 1. Mystery.
Kazuma, are you done cleaning? If you are finished, hurry up and eat. It is going to be busy today, too.
Okay.
I reply energetically to my mother's voice and finish cleaning the room. Thankfully, this travel season is full of reservations every year. I have to clean the rooms until they sparkle so the guests can stay comfortably and become repeaters starting next year. Being busy is tiring, but I am happier when the place is thriving rather than deserted, so I put my soul into cleaning and service every time. I get an allowance too. And above all else, floating text appears in Kazuma's vision. Technique +3. Spirit +1.
As I thought, no matter how hard I try, this is about the limit. Seriously, what is this?
Looking at the numbers floating in front of me, I recall a bit about this mysterious phenomenon. I was born on a famous tourist island a little away from the main island of Okinawa. My parents run a tourist inn on this island, and it always gets busy during the tourist season. Although it is called an inn, there are few employees, and it feels closer to a bed and breakfast. The building is a bit large for a family business, so it takes the form of an inn with a few hired employees. Well, even if it is busy, I think I am being raised with love, and I have lived without any particular hardships. However, since I was old enough to understand things, I have been able to see nonsensical things in front of me. This is what was visible at the very beginning. Status. Trajectory. 1. Contact. G0. Power. G0. Running speed. G0. Arm strength. G0. Fielding. G0. Catching. G0. Pitch speed, 30 kilometers. Control, G0. Stamina, G0. Experience points, muscle, 0. Agility, 0. Technique, 0. Breaking ball, 0. Spirit, 0. It looked something like that. I set the points that accumulate after taking action to 0 at the bottom to make it easy to understand. But points had already accumulated to some extent from the time I became aware of this status. Separately, there is something like a skill column. There are truly a massive amount of them, so I will omit them. But for example, this one, laser beam. There are things like that. Unfortunately, I cannot acquire this even if I have enough of various points. Even if I try to acquire it, I am told I do not meet the conditions. I am told that for most of the skills and cannot acquire them. But I secretly hope that if the conditions are right, I might one day become a man who can fire a laser beam. Just kidding, but I can vaguely tell it is related to baseball. Even looking at the skill column, it seems there are many things related to the baseball I occasionally watch on TV. Well, I have been seeing this since I was small. I noticed it when I was about 3 years old. Naturally, I did not understand the meaning. No, even now I only vaguely understand. But back then I understood even less. So, with my clumsy childhood explanations, I told my parents that I could see these things. I told them I could see something I did not understand right in front of me all the time. My parents were worried and took me to the hospital immediately. But as expected, I was told there were no abnormalities. My parents were still worried and tried to take me not to the island hospital, but to a proper hospital on the main island. However, at that time, seeing my usually smiling parents constantly worried made me feel apologetic instead, and I apparently told them I was fine after all. To be honest, I do not remember much. If I thought it was in the way, the status-like thing would disappear. If I thought about it coming out, it would appear. Well, through various things. I have spent my time with this mysterious status since I was old enough to understand. About 5 years have passed since then, and I am now an elementary school student. Perhaps because my parents run a tourist inn and I had opportunities to interact and talk with guests from a young age, or because I did small, simple chores, I have had various experiences for a child, and I seem to be a slightly intelligent child. Since there are guests who dislike children, I only do it in moderation, but as the poster boy of this inn, I radiate charm, and quite a few repeaters stay here. The main reasons this inn has the most repeaters are the food and the swimmable sea right nearby. Thanks to experiencing various things, different points for the status accumulate. I still do not properly understand the meaning, but accumulating points is simply fun. If I spend my time aimlessly, points do not accumulate at all. But if I tackle things seriously, points accumulate accordingly. So, for now, I try to do everything seriously. Then, seeing the points accumulate makes me grin. Apparently, I like this kind of thing. Doing chores for my parents as a child and being serious about everything leaves a good impression on the people around me. And my reputation among the islanders is extremely good. Honestly, I am just working hard for the points, but being praised makes me genuinely happy. Because I am happy, I work hard and seriously again. Points accumulate, I get praised. It is a wonderful, positive cycle, and even as an elementary schooler, I am enjoying life to the fullest.
Kazuma, if you do not eat quickly, you will run out of time. You are going to look after Shinji this afternoon, right?
Oh, okay.
Shinji is my younger brother, 5 years old and 3 years younger than me. Ever since I was small, when our parents were busy, I would take care of him in various ways. Of course, it is because I love him as a brother, but for some reason, taking care of Shinji raises my spirit points. After I noticed that, I began to look after him proactively. If I keep Shinji company, my parents can focus on work.
All right. I'm going to go collect spirit points.
Episode 2, Utilization.
I want more points.
Sitting on the sandy beach near the inn, I compare the status-like thing in front of me with my notebook. I have been seeing mysterious things since I can remember. At first, I did not understand the meaning, and I still do not really understand. But anyway, accumulating points is fun. Since I learned that points accumulate through various daily actions, I have decided to put my full effort into everything, and I make sure to note down the accumulated points in my notebook each time. And when I have free time like now, I do the things that accumulate the most points. Currently, the thing that gets me the most points is simply swimming in the sea. If I just splash around and swim in the sea, muscle, technique, and agility points go up, and sometimes stamina increases too. So far, this is the best because points and status go up well, but I want something new soon. I am happy about the efficiency, but I get bored doing the same thing all the time. Oh well, anyway, let us swim. Status, trajectory, 1. Contact, G0. Power, E40. Running speed, D55. Arm strength, G0. Fielding, G0. Catching, G0. Pitch speed, 50 kilometers. Control, G0. Stamina, D51. Experience points. Muscle, 21. Agility, 8. Technique, 16. Breaking ball, 101. Spirit, 69. Common skills, resistance to injury, S. Popular.
My stamina did not go up today.
I get out of the sea just before my physical limit and immediately check my status. The points went up as usual, but unfortunately stamina did not increase this time. As the numerical value goes up, stamina is becoming harder to increase. Well, the required points for other things are increasing too, so this is unavoidable. I like accumulating points, but when I can use them, I use them readily. I thought it would be better to have power when helping around the house, so I tried raising it. And for running speed, I simply thought it would be cool to be fast. Honestly, I do not really know if it is having an effect. I'm on the faster side in school races, and I think I am fairly strong, but it is subtle whether that is thanks to this status. Regarding skills, there are still almost none I can take, but I took resistance to injury, which was available from the start, and popular, for which I eventually met the conditions. It is obviously better not to get injured. It started from G, but I poured points in early and made it the upper limit. Again, I do not know if it is thanks to this skill, but I have not had any major injuries so far. I simply wanted popular. The more popularity you have, the better. This too was originally thanks to my usual behavior, and because I already had a good impression, I have not been able to feel the effect. But I think that is why the conditions were met. Since I have not felt like anything changed after taking the skills, I have been wondering if they have any meaning. By the way, pitch speed increased on its own as my age went up. I feel like I gained something. It would be nice if it kept going up on its own like this.
Oops, I have to stretch.
Thinking that, I start stretching in my swim trunks. This is indispensable before and after entering the sea. I am just doing what I heard from my dad, so I do not know if the method is correct, but it is dangerous to enter the sea without warm-up exercises, and even after getting out, the level of fatigue the next day is completely different depending on whether I do this or not. Technique points and spirit points go in just a little bit too, so I cannot not do it.
It is probably about baseball, though.
While moving my body lightly to a rhythmic count, I look at the status. If I did not know about the existence of baseball, I still would not understand the meaning, but thinking about what the commentators say in the baseball I occasionally watch on TV, I can tell without a doubt that this status is about baseball. There are pitcher skills and batter skills too, after all. However, this island is not really an environment where you can play baseball. There are plenty of open, wide spaces, but you cannot get enough people. Even the elementary school has few people.
Well, it is not like I particularly want to play baseball either.
Accumulating points and seeing the status values go up is fun, but if asked if I want to do baseball, it feels ordinary. But I sometimes think that if I played baseball, I might be able to collect even more points. No, there should still be things I can do with my own methods. I will try looking at various training videos on YouTube. I will have to borrow my dad's smartphone when I get home. Episode 3. Discovery.
Ah, so this is what I have been seeing.
What is wrong, Kazuma?
No, it is nothing.
I am desperate every day to collect points, but I am not always swimming in the sea. If I am invited by friends like today, I go out to play. And when it is off-season for tourism, the inn is quiet, so there are no chores to do. So today, I came to play at a friend's house, and we decided to play a certain baseball game my friend recently had bought for him. When I was shown the game screen, I was startled. The player ability display was identical to the status I usually see. Some parts were different, but most were the same. I felt like one mystery had been solved. Well, it does not mean my actions will particularly change, though. It is true that for a moment I thought I might be able to aim to be a professional baseball player with this status. But as I said before, I cannot get enough people together to play baseball. The elementary school I attend only has about 10 people in each grade. The whole school does not even have 100 students. In cities, there are about 30 to 40 people in one class, and there are many such classes. That is unthinkable on this island. I think if there were that many people, I could play baseball all I wanted, and I feel a little bit envious. There is a baseball team on this island where various elementary schools gather, but it is a bit far from my house and the inn, so I would have to have my parents take me every time. It is absolutely not something I can ask for during the busy tourist season. If I said something, my parents would probably push themselves to take me, but I would hate that. If I did proper baseball practice, the points might be overflowing. But I do not want to do it to the point of making someone push themselves.
Maybe when I become a junior high student.
Hey, Kazuma, hurry up and pick a team.
Oh, sorry. I will take this one. The Osaka Orcas.
Oh, the traditional rivalry.
Is it?
Hurried by my friend, I quickly choose a team. I am not particularly a fan, but the only baseball teams I properly know are these Osaka Orcas or the Tokyo Umils. Baseball broadcasts are always about these two teams. For others, I know the team names but do not know the players at all. Thus, friend play begins. I did it seriously as usual, but I lost normally. I gained technique and spirit points, but I wonder if the points I can obtain would increase if I could beat my friend.
One more time?
All right.
If I am curious, I have to find out. I will make sure to note down the points I just got in my notebook and have my friend keep me company until I win. Time passed after that. By the time I became a 6th grader, my parents bought me a smartphone. I do not know if this is early or late, but friends around me were buying them here and there, so I think it is about average for this island. Well, I will think of it as a reward for being a good kid usually. With this, I can now watch YouTube at my own timing, whereas before I had to ask my dad and borrow his phone. I can immediately look up things I'm curious about, and point collection will progress even further. Also, I am happy that I can now take notes on my phone. Until now, I had to note things in a notebook every time, and I was sometimes thought of as a slightly strange kid. Oh, that baseball game that is almost identical to my status. It was also available as a smartphone app, so I downloaded and played it just in case. It was not helpful at all, though. What are friendship combos? Why can you get so many points or obtain skills if you get a girlfriend? I really did not understand the meaning at all. For now, thinking it might be good to do things with people, I have recently been teaching my younger brother Shinji how to play catch.
Which is correct and which is not. Being able to get so much information is also something to think about.
Since getting the smartphone, I have focused on gathering information. I had been using my dad's phone until now, but I had been holding back, thinking it would make him worry if I was only looking up baseball and training. Even so, at one point, he bought me a glove, ball, and bat. It was probably just as playthings for brothers, but I think he bought them because he knew I was looking at them on the phone.
For now, I have no choice but to try all the promising practices and check the points. I will try to adopt the best one among them.
There are many practice methods and I do not know which is correct, but I have the status. I will just have to try them one by one and find good practice methods. I do not know if even that is correct, but for now, points take priority.
I wonder if I can play baseball once I'm in junior high.
The junior high school I plan to attend has a baseball club. The number of people should not be as small as my current elementary school. My feelings are 30% wanting to play baseball and 70% interest in what happens to the points if I properly belong to a baseball club and practice. If the efficiency is bad, I might quit. Episode 4. Hypothesis.
I think yours is not about becoming a superhuman immediately once you use points, but rather that if you train, you will reach about those values. It means that just because you allocated points and raised your status like in a game, you will not get strong right away. I think you can finally utilize that spec after practicing and putting in effort in various ways.
Ah, I see. Hello, everyone. This is Kazuma Sayama, who has become a junior high student. I thought about joining the baseball club, but surprisingly, there were only 3 members. Even so, if those 3 seniors were motivated, I thought it might be good to join and practice together, but all of them are ghost members. They have not had practice matches for several years due to a lack of members, so I gave up on joining. Since the junior high I attend has a mysterious rule that everyone must belong to a club, I joined the home economics club just in case it might be useful when I cook at the inn someday, but they do not seem to be very active either, so I probably will not go much. If ghost members and inactivity are allowed like this, I think the mysterious rule about everyone belonging to a club is meaningless.
And so, in the end, playing baseball did not come true. I am working hard as usual on training at the sandy beach near the inn and at home. A new brain has joined me. My younger brother Shinji, who nodded while looking at the notebooks I have noted until now, and my smartphone, and proposed a hypothesis. He is only a 4th grader, but he is incredibly smart. I think I was a bit cheeky and acted smart for an elementary schooler, but Shinji is just normally smart. However, he seems to be bad at moving his body. He can play catch with me, but he cannot be called athletic. He does not seem to mind that, and he enjoys learning various things he is interested in, and he knows the secret of the status. He was interested in me taking notes so enthusiastically, and with sparkling eyes, he begged me to tell him what it was. Well, thinking he would not believe it anyway, I told him long ago that I could see a mysterious status, and he was very intrigued. I do not know if he still believes it, but since then I have been conducting various experiments together with my brother. Our parents are pleased to see the brothers consulting each other on this and that. Well, it is better to play together happily than to get along poorly. Anyway, putting that aside, it is the hypothesis Shinji mentioned. Until now, I have done various practices, accumulated points, and raised statuses that seemed useful for daily life. Skills remain locked as usual. Various conditions are written, but most of them are things that cannot be unlocked unless I play baseball. Honestly, I do not care about skills. If they are not useful in daily life, I do not need them. So I have been allocating those points to basic statuses instead. But honestly, it is hard to say the effect is showing. Status. Trajectory, 1. Contact, G0. Power, C60. Running speed, C60. Arm strength, E40. Fielding, G0. Catching, G0. Pitch speed, 70 kilometers. Control, G0. Stamina, 82. Experience points, muscle, 41. Agility, 59. Technique, 88. Breaking ball, 178. Spirit, 462. Common skills, resistance to injury, S, popular, mood good.
It looks like this now. I have still only allocated points to power and running speed, which seem usable in daily life. Arm strength is just a feeling that I raised it to the minimum because it might be necessary when playing catch with Shinji. And as for skills, I only obtained mood good. I do not know if this is useful either. I want to believe I am utilizing it when talking to guests at the inn. Well, looking at the ability descriptions in a certain baseball game, I think expectations are low. Stamina grew on its own because I was swimming in the sea all the time, even though I did not allocate points. Honestly, as the status goes up, the amount of required points increases too, so it helps. Once it gets above C, it takes several days to raise a single value. The problem is whether this status is being utilized.
Looking at a certain baseball game, C for power or running speed is quite a good value. In spite of that, I do not feel like I am receiving any particular benefits. In something like a physical ability test right after entering junior high, I was first in the grade for the 1,500-meter run. But that is because I swam almost every day when I could enter the sea, so I would have at least that much stamina. But for the 50-meter dash, there were quite a few people faster than me. That is where Shinji thought about it. If you allocate status with points, you can get the body specs to be able to exhibit about that much power, so please train properly.
So it means it is not easy mode.
Well, that is assuming the status you see is not a delusion.
How could a delusion be seen this clearly?
If I want to exhibit power according to the status, I need to train properly. Come to think of it, I am doing various trainings for points, but I am not doing training for the purpose of gaining power or for the purpose of making my feet faster. If Shinji's hypothesis is correct, it means I will never be able to exhibit power according to my specs.
That is why let us try to see if you can really get those kinds of body specs.
Eh? You mean doing training to make my feet faster, or training to gain strength? Point efficiency seems like it would be bad.
It is fine. It is fine. I am already curious about it. I want to test if the hypothesis is correct. Besides, you want confirmation that the status in front of you is not a delusion, right?
That is true, but
Unless your athletic nerves are fatally bad. I think you would get some results if you trained even without a status, but oh well. He has thought about various things with me, and it is a request from my cute brother. Let us try training properly. Episode 5. Growing Pains.
damn it. Just when it was starting to get fun, I have to save.
Growing pains are pain that accompanies the growth of bones during the growth period when the growth of muscles and tendons cannot keep up, and the parts attached to the bone are pulled. The duration of pain also seems to vary from person to person, from several days to several weeks or months.
I thought my height had been shooting up lately, honestly. Lately, it even hurts a bit just to bend my knees. It is even affecting my help at the inn.
I have become a second-year junior high student. Shinji and I are playing with friends from school, but as usual, we are enjoying the study of the status. The hypothesis Shinji set up has been proven to some extent. After studying how to run and repeating practice, my 50-meter dash time improved significantly, and my power also grew steadily after I did light muscle training. Since Shinji looked it up on the internet and said excessive muscle training is not good during the growth period, it was only light, but I feel like my body has become one size larger. My weight increased all at once, after all. If I continue light muscle training and intense swimming in the sea, my body will naturally finish in a good way. Since Shinji's hypothesis is likely not wrong, we decided to play more with this status since we are at it. If you have such a fun plaything, it is human nature to want to play with it thoroughly. We were planning and thinking of practice menus to try statuses we had not touched at all and play in various ways. But at this point, an abnormality appeared in my body. My knees and such suddenly started to hurt. I was a bit grumpy, thinking that resistance to injury, which I spent many points on and acquired with top priority, was not doing its job at all. But when I went to the hospital with my parents, I was told it was growing pains. Certainly, my height started to grow suddenly around the end of the first year of junior high. Although it was only a little over 150 centimeters at the start of junior high, it is now about the high 170s. Apparently, it is a common phenomenon for someone my age. The growth is amazing, but it seems that it can indeed grow this much all at once. When I came home and told Shinji it was growing pains, he showed an obviously relieved expression. Although I am also looking up training menus and such, it is mostly Shinji who thinks of them. He seems to have been worried that I got injured because he made me do unreasonable things. Even if he acts like an adult usually, he is still an elementary schooler in this regard. He has a cute side, but he immediately pulled himself together and started looking up various things about growing pains.
But we will have to revise the plan.
Right? But it might have been a good opportunity.
A good opportunity?
For now, I am relieved it was not an injury. I am sorry for doubting resistance to injury. However, it has started to affect playing with the status from now on. Just when various things were starting to be understood and it was becoming interesting. Although I thought that Shinji says it is a good opportunity. What on earth does he mean?
You want to be able to throw a fastball for now, right?
Yeah, I want to throw an incredibly fast ball.
Since we decided to play with the status, the first thing we thought of touching was pitch speed. It says 70 kilometers on the status, but if I pour points into this, the upper limit can be raised. In a certain baseball game, you can even put out over 170 kilometers. I looked it up a bit, and although there are people who can throw 160 kilometers in the current professional baseball world, there is barely one such person in each team. Then, we amateurs decided on pitch speed with a sense of emphasizing romance, thinking let us become able to put out 170 kilometers. I do not know if the status will grow that far like in the game, though.
I looked up various things, and to be able to throw a fastball, there are quite a few things you have to train and things you have to think about.
From there, Shinji told me at a fast pace the things he had looked up. Honestly, I cannot say I understood, so I will look it up myself later. Things like inner muscles, core, explosive power of fast twitch muscles, wrist snap, correct pitching form, flexibility, range of motion around the shoulders, and, anyway, many things. It is a secret that I inwardly thought it was a bit troublesome. But Shinji is full of motivation. although I am the one who will have a hard time. Well, if it is for the sake of status and points, I will work hard too.
So, I thought it would be good to acquire a correct pitching form in parallel with training the body little by little. But you are in a growth period now, and your height is shooting up, right? They say many people have their pitching form collapse when they grow rapidly.
I see. Since I have not fixed a pitching form yet, or rather, since I do not even know the correct way to throw, there is no such worry.
Right. So, for now, until your height stops growing, I think it might be good to put the pitching form aside and train other parts. Even if you think about the pitching form now, if your body gets bigger again, the pitching form you went through the trouble of fixing might collapse.
Is it the inner muscles and such you mentioned earlier? But the doctor told me not to do too much intense exercise.
There are plenty of training methods that do not put a burden on the lower body. Well, I'm going to look into that from now on.
I see. He is looking into it more enthusiastically than I am. Shinji thoroughly looks up things he is interested in after all. Since it is about me, I will try looking into it seriously once too. Chapter 6. Pitching Form.
We still need to keep an eye on things for a little longer, but it looks like we can finally get serious.
I never imagined my growth spurt would last this long.
No kidding.
I am Kazuma Sayama, 16 years old. Just recently, I became a high school sophomore. You might be thinking that time skipped ahead quite a bit. But even if you say that, for the past 3 years since I started growing rapidly, I have done nothing but the same practices supervised by Shinji. This is because my height did not stop increasing until just now. My growth began at the end of my first year of middle school. At first, I thought it was just a typical growth spurt. From there, it simply would not stop. I exceeded 190 centimeters before entering high school, and I actually started to get a little scared. I heard there are people out there my age who are bigger than me, but watching myself shoot up like a sprout was truly frightening. Ultimately, I went to a large hospital on the main island of Okinawa to have my body properly checked. There are doctors on the island where I live, but they only have a small clinic, and I cannot say their equipment is sufficient. Apparently, modern medicine can roughly predict how tall a person will eventually grow. I had them check that while they were making sure there were no abnormalities. Otherwise, I would never be able to play around with my status screen. In the end, it turned out my height would settle around 200 centimeters. That is quite tall for a Japanese person. I am already the largest human on the island. Both of my parents are only slightly taller than average, and my middle school brother, Shinji, is following a normal growth curve. I remember Shinji once asking me if there was an option to adjust height in my status window, and now I have reached 199 centimeters. Even if I grow from here, it will only be a few more centimeters. Finally, the operation to throw a 170 km/h fastball is ready to start in earnest.
These past few years have been nothing but incredibly plain practice.
Simple basic drills are the most important thing. Besides, what we are about to do next is also plain practice.
That is true.
Shinji is getting smarter every year. I am the type who studies seriously for the sake of points, but my grades are only in the upper middle range. Shinji, however, is a monster who can understand almost anything after reading a textbook once. Even on middle school tests, he gets nearly perfect scores, only occasionally losing points to careless mistakes. Lately, he has even taken an interest in running our family inn. He is talking with our parents and working on management improvements. I've been thinking lately that it might be better if Shinji inherits the inn instead of me. Maybe I should support him through some other job. Despite that, Shinji dedicates the time he would use for studying to thinking up my training menus. He creates menus that balance point efficiency with the training necessary to increase pitch speed. These past few years were filled with dull exercises. The only reason I could keep going was for this day.
Regarding the pitching form.
Fixing the form means more repetitive practice, right?
Yes, I plan to have you actually throw balls, but I want to focus primarily on shadow pitching.
Oh, like that thing from the manga.
Because I was still growing, we could not practice the actual form, but we have discussed what kind of form to use. When I could not do intense exercise due to growing pains, I studied by watching videos and reading manga. Our inn has many manga for guests to read to kill time. Among them were quite a few baseball series. As a result, we decided that an overhand delivery that utilizes a large body to slam the ball down toward the ground would be best. Apparently, it is called an arm-style delivery. If I have grown this large, it would be a waste not to use a form that leverages that frame. It is supposed to put less strain on the elbow, though the shoulder is prone to injury. However, I have my skills, and I have spent these past years building a body that avoids injury. I plan to continue that, of course. At first, I was stubborn and insisted on a submarine delivery. I thought it would be cooler because even a submarine thrower can hit 170 kilometers per hour in a game. Shinji rejected that immediately. He gave me a reality check, saying that the status is just a guide for the power you can exhibit if you train properly. Shinji said there was no way Kazuma could exhibit the power from his specs if he used the wrong training method. Kazuma gave up right away.
You have long arms too. I think it will be hard for batters to hit your pitches, though we will not know for sure until we try.
Do I really need to go that far? I just want to be able to throw a fast ball.
If you are going to do it, it is not fun unless you do it thoroughly. You spent years on plane practice, so why compromise now?
I guess you're right.
First, Kazuma put on his glove. While being coached by Shinji, Kazuma begins to burn the form into his body. It is more dull practice, involving photos and videos being taken with constant checks. Kazuma just wants to throw fast, but Shinji demands a pitching form where it is difficult for the batter to see where the ball is coming from. Kazuma hides his long arms behind his large body until the last possible second. Then, the arm suddenly flies out, slamming the ball down. Kazuma thinks it is called having a good release or carry. There is a skill for that in games, and it is on Kazuma's status screen too, though it is still locked. Well, if Kazuma can throw 170 kilometers per hour, and the batter cannot track the timing until the last moment, it would certainly be hard to hit. Though Kazuma probably will not have the chance to face an actual batter. Kazuma gave up on joining the high school team too because of the lack of members. There are too few people his age on this island. Chapter 7. Problem.
This is crazy. This is insane, Shinji.
What happened?
A bunch of skills were unlocked all at once. I have so many to choose from.
That is good.
Why is your energy so low? There are more things to experiment with now.
You are saying that on purpose, right?
Okay, I'm sorry.
It has been about a week of burning the pitching form into his body through shadow pitching. Perhaps because Kazuma was almost a complete beginner, the foundation seemed to come together smoothly. Kazuma will have to keep making fine adjustments from here, but he can judge the temporary form as being complete. If that is the case, it is only human nature to want to try throwing immediately. Kazuma had thrown lightly before, but this is essentially the first time he is throwing with real focus. After warming up thoroughly, the moment of truth arrived. Kazuma threw with all his might toward Shinji. And now, Shinji was blowing on his hand to show it off to Kazuma, casting a look of deep resentment his way.
A new problem has surfaced.
Truly, my hand is going to be crushed at this rate.
But the ball Kazuma threw went roughly toward Shinji. However, it did not go anywhere near where Shinji was holding his glove, and Shinji had to scramble to reach for the ball. The ball struck Shinji's arm directly instead of the glove. Shinji let out a scream and rolled around on the sand. It was probably Kazuma's fault for not paying any attention to control, but Shinji is not very athletic. As a result of Shinji's clumsy attempt to catch the ball, this tragedy occurred.
Control and a catcher, huh?
Setting control aside, I had not thought about a catcher at all. I planned to catch it without thinking of anything complicated, but there is no way I can catch that.
Even if Kazuma can throw a fast ball, it is meaningless if there is no one to catch it. Shinji can keep Kazuma company for a game of catch, but anything beyond that is difficult. Kazuma had not thought about that at all. This might be a downside of the two of them working alone.
If you raise your control and throw only to where I am holding my glove, maybe we can manage?
That would mean I have to raise my control to rank S, right? With the amount of points I am getting now, I do not know when that will ever happen.
Kazuma pulls up his current status. Trajectory. 1. Contact. G0. Power. C64. Running speed. C68. Arm strength. C68. Fielding. F33. Catching. E49. Pitch speed. 138 kilometers per hour. Control. F31. Stamina. 88. Experience points. Muscle, 1,542. Agility, 896. Technique, 1,385. Breaking ball, 303. Spirit, 2,004. Common skills. Resistance to injury. Rank, S. Popular. Mood good. This is my current status. Since I started building my body to increase pitch speed, I have not allocated any points to my status at all. Thanks to that, I have accumulated so many points that it makes my mouth water. I thought I would spend them flashily after the foundation was done, but surprisingly, my status grew on its own. I thought that if it grows naturally, maybe I do not need to allocate points. However, as expected, the growth slowed down. At first it rose smoothly, and both Shinji and I were excited, but I think it will be more efficient to cheat by spending points to grow further from here. To raise my stamina by just 1 point from this level, I have to spend about 400 muscle points. Even games are a little kinder than this. Even with all my swimming, it has not gone up in months. Ranka might be sufficient, but I want to max it out someday.
Is your control still at F? If so, I think we can manage something without spending too many points if I create a training menu for control. But the problem is still the catcher.
Yeah, a catcher is probably necessary for control practice too.
Besides, your skills were unlocked, right? I want to test those too, so we cannot waste points. I want to grow without using points as much as possible.
Shinji and Kazuma sit on the sand and groan as they rack their brains. They are being asked for an outrageous number of points for the final status, and now the skills are unlocked. Well, Kazuma personally feels like he does not necessarily need to acquire them. For example, regarding the skill for ball carry, Kazuma thinks it is just a matter of burning the form into his body through practice. Kazuma does not see the need to go out of his way to spend precious points to learn a skill he can acquire through training. For skills like resistance to injury or mood good, which Kazuma cannot do anything about through practice, there is room for consideration. Kazuma wonders if he can learn skills through practice. If the status goes up on its own, would it not be okay to learn skills naturally too? Maybe Kazuma should focus on practicing skills that seem easy to learn.
Well, anyway, the catcher problem.
Right? I will try to think of something too.
Kazuma wonders if he should try talking to someone at school who has baseball experience. Thanks to his skills, Kazuma is somewhat popular at school. He does not know if there is anyone who will join in on this strange game Shinji and he are playing. Well, Kazuma will try asking around for now. Otherwise, the plan to throw 170 kilometers per hour will end. Chapter 8. A temporary solution.
Can a pitcher really do something like this?
I do not think they can hit the target every single time. But you have your status, right?
I guess so, but the road is long.
We bought this using both of our allowances. I am going to use it effectively from now on.
In the end, the catcher problem was not solved. Shinji tried to catch the ball, and Kazuma asked a few high school friends if they would keep him company. However, people around Kazuma's age living on this island are generally busy helping their parents. Shinji and Kazuma still help at the inn, and most children inherit the businesses of their parents. By the time they reach Kazuma's age, their help becomes seriously busy, and they have no time to join in his play. Those who do not inherit their parents' businesses have no time to play because they are studying to enter universities on the main island or the mainland. Well, there is one person at this high school who is an incredible volleyball player and is going to a university in Osaka on a recommendation. Putting that aside, Shinji and Kazuma decided that this could not be helped. Shinji and Kazuma used the money they saved by helping at home to buy a pitching net online. It is a slightly expensive one with a target that divides the strike zone into 9 sections. Both Shinji and Kazuma have quite a bit of money because they only spent their savings on school social interactions. Since their family inn is fairly prosperous, their parents are generous with their allowance. Together with a pitching net, they also bought a speed gun. You can measure speed with smartphone apps now, but it still seems to be inaccurate. This also cost a good price, but Kazuma has no regrets. Even if the status says he can throw 170 kilometers per hour, Kazuma will not know for sure unless he measures it. So, Shinji and Kazuma asked the pitching net to play the role of the catcher and started practicing again. Well, Kazuma is struggling because he cannot throw exactly where he wants. There is a large vacant lot next to the inn. This is also land that Kazuma's parents own, and they told him he could use it however he likes. Kazuma measured the distance from the pitcher to the catcher properly and set up the pitching net. He even went through the trouble of piling up dirt to make a mound.
Kazuma, did you actually want to play baseball after all?
No. Well, I would have been happy if I could, but there were no members in middle or high school. I'm just playing around, so you do not need to worry.
Kazuma's father spoke to him after seeing such a large-scale setup. Whenever Kazuma has free time, he is swimming at the beach near the inn or training with Shinji. He is doing various things very seriously. Yet, Kazuma does not join the baseball club, even if there is the reason of a lack of members. If Kazuma has bought a pitching net and a speed gun, it is only natural for a parent to be concerned. But this is already like a hobby. Kazuma wants to collect points and make his status look good. It started that way, but it has completely become a part of his daily life. Kazuma wants his father to think that he is just putting his full effort into a hobby and spending money on it. There is no entertainment on this island other than swimming in the sea or enjoying the scenery of tourist spots. Well, I think if I had been born on the main island or the mainland instead of this island and had this status, I would have played baseball. It is still fun enough now, and while it is a little disappointing that I could not play baseball, it is not enough to make me depressed. I do not know if I could have done such efficiency-focused practice if I had joined a club.
All right, let us start by training your lower body. Because your height kept growing, your upper body is shaping up well, but your lower body still has a long way to go. To gain control, the lower body that firmly supports the body is important. In addition to the sensation in your fingertips, I am going to be strict.
I have heard that lower body training is tougher than upper body. It is the beginning of painful days again.
You might think that Kazuma can throw as much as he wants now that the mound is finished, but apparently throwing too many balls is not good. Shinji taught Kazuma that in the major leagues, the number of pitches a pitcher throws is strictly managed. Kazuma has the resistance to injury skill, but overconfidence is not good. Even if Kazuma throws, it will be 50 to 100 pitches a day. He will stop if he loses his focus and move to other training. Kazuma wants to prioritize quality over quantity and do meaningful practice slowly every time. Doing it every day might be too much, but for now, we do not know the right balance. Kazuma plans to respond flexibly by looking at his physical condition and the state of his shoulders and elbows. With the catcher problem solved for now, Kazuma feels like the plan to throw 170 kilometers per hour has truly started in earnest. It is just for self-satisfaction, so it does not really matter. As long as Shinji and Kazuma are having fun, that is fine.
Heh. I have already thought of a training menu to thoroughly torment your lower body.
You do not hate me or anything, right?
1 year has passed since that beautiful display of brotherly love. It is the spring of Kazuma's senior year of high school. He is about to meet a certain person. Kazuma checks his final status for the year. Trajectory, 1. Contact, G0. Power, B71. Running speed, B74. Arm strength, B79. Fielding, F37. Catching, D51. Pitch speed, 157 kilometers per hour. Control, D57. Stamina, A89. Experience points. Muscle, 84. Agility, 1,037. Technique, 16. Breaking ball, 368. Spirit, 604. Pitching skills, ball release, fastball quality rank D, common skills. Resistance to injury, rank S, popular. Mood good, recovery rank C.